Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Today's video, we're going to talk about will they strike first? And when I mean they, I'm talking about China. Now, the obvious answer is starting to look like yes. It looks like China is definitely going to, first strike America, if that makes sense. It just seems like, guys, for everything they're doing, and it's not being spoken about or talked about in mainstream media, when you dive into it, when you do your own research, you start to think, why would they be building a navy or an army that big? Why would they be building and creating weapons of mass destruction and building military vehicles in the amount of numbers that they're building these military vehicles and weapons of mass destruction? So that leads me to believe they are absolutely gearing up for an attack. Now, obviously, the media is too preoccupied with Russia. Then they're pushing this monkeypox bullshit. Then they're talking about the Roe versus Wade overturn coming up in a couple of weeks, food shortage, gas prices, so on and so forth. But it seems to be that very few media companies are focused or even talking about what China is doing. Now, China, guys, like I said before, they're building and creating weapons of mass destruction, and they're building military vehicles at an alarming rate. They're also building their navy at an alarming rate. Speaking of their navy, they are currently working on they deployed two aircraft carriers, which they haven't had before in their history, if I'm not mistaken. And they have recently built two, and I think they're working or building a third one as we speak. The problem with this, guys, is that they never needed a aircraft carrier before. They are so close to Taiwan, which is the excuse that everybody seems to think that China's going to attack. Everybody seems to think China's going to attack Taiwan and or Vietnam. Well, you don't need 3 aircraft carriers to do so, or rather 2 that are in play right now. So why would you be building an aircraft carrier to go a short distance? I think, guys, well, I'm going to tell you what I think later in this video, but it's an interesting thought, at least for me, and it's coming up with the conclusions that I come up with all the shit I've researched. My conclusions are leading me to only one possible attack. The aircraft carrier thing is not an issue, but it's interesting because they built them at an alarming speed. The 2 aircraft carriers they currently have now. The third one they're supposedly working on has been confirmed. Being that they're working or building a lot of their Navy vehicles at an alarming rate, they are running into a problem with the tech on their boats. So they're having technological issues on a lot of their vehicles, and especially their aircraft carrier, which is, I guess, a good thing because it's going to delay their attack a little bit, whoever they attack. But this is what happens when you build anything too fast. I mean, the United States Navy, Marines, Army, they've seen that time and time again when they built too fast. They built the vehicle too quick. They wanted to jump into it to get that government money. Those private contractors build something too quick, shit doesn't work. So China's running into the same problem. Now, the third aircraft carrier they're assuming, they're not quite sure, again, with the information that I've got, no one's quite sure if the third aircraft carrier is a manned aircraft carrier or the new drone aircraft carrier that they have. Now, this aircraft carrier, that's a drone aircraft carrier, if you will, guys, it's unmanned, and it launches unmanned vehicles, as in unmanned submarines, unmanned drones, aircrafts of those natures, and even unmanned boats, smaller boats. So this is something that China has already built and have in the water. So I think it's still in its testing stage, and I think that's one of the technological problems they're having is with this boat, which, interestingly enough, guys, all the vehicles hone back to once they go out on their mission, whatever their mission is. That is pretty interesting tech to have, or pretty advanced tech to have in a country like China. I thought that maybe we would have had it first, or maybe Israel, or hell, even Russia would have had it first before China. But nonetheless, or Japan. But none of these countries came up with it first. China did. Now, China has 360 battleships to our 290. Bushcraft Families, you could visit his channel. He sent me an email early this week saying that in the article they were stating that there are possibly up to 500 more hidden Chinese military vehicles that were built as well, but they're being hidden from, I guess, our satellites or whatever. So whatever numbers the United States got, whatever vehicle number they got, there's supposedly 500 more of those vehicles, but it's unclear as to what vehicles they are exactly. But nonetheless, if China's hiding that many vehicles from us, guys, and they're telling us this is what we got, but they're hiding 500 more, my bigger question is, who the hell are they going to get to man these things? I get they have 1 billion people in their country, but I'm 1,000% sure not even half of that population knows how to operate these vehicles, and I'm pretty sure half that population is not in the military. Now, I get it that if it's a quarter of the population, or hell, even a third of that population is in the military, they will outnumber us militarily. But as far as experience goes, the United States still has more Navy experience than the Chinese. Still doesn't change the fact that China has way more Navy vehicles, or Marine vehicles, if you will, than the United States. Now, as of right now, guys, the Chinese military Navy is the largest Navy in the world. And I really can't believe that. And they said as far as manpower goes, we still beat them. But as far as vehicle goes, they have way more. Now, these are the numbers of military vehicles and Navy vehicles that they have. 355 modern surface combatants, 50 diesel-powered submarines, 6 ballistic nuclear missile submarines, 3 aircraft carriers, not including the drone aircraft carrier, 2,100 fighter jets, 27 amphibious assault ships, 164 large Coast Guard cutters, and 2 polar icebreakers. The icebreakers are more interesting because did they acquire those? Did they already have them? They're pretty far south from the North Pole, so why would they need those icebreakers or polar icebreakers unless they are operating in either the North or South Pole, in one of those regions? They are also retrofitting Russian ships that Russia gave to them with modern technology on it as well. It's unclear if the Russians are going to use these ships or the Chinese are using these ships in lieu of Russia using them. Who knows? But nonetheless, that's more vehicles that they have on their side. Now, China is also building something called missile fields. These are missile silos, or nuclear missile silos, guys. They are building in their country. Now, these missile fields hold anything up to 120 missile silos in each field. There's supposedly 2, with a third one being built as we speak. They are 3 kilometers apart, the silos. And again, guys, why would you need this many missile silos housing nuclear weapons, or nuclear missiles, if you will, aimed at who? Now, if you look at the math, 120 per field. They said that they could be up to 500. That means there might be some that they can't see. But let's just go with 120 per field. They have 2 right now with a third on the way. 120 times 3 is 360. That's 360 silos pointed at every other nation that opposes China. Which means, guys, and not just one nation. The United States might have, I don't know, 100 aimed at it. The UK might have another 100 aimed at it. And then all the other smaller countries get divided up as such. Or maybe we have 6 aimed at us, or 10, and so on and so forth. You get my point. The point is that they have this many nuclear silos, guys, ready to rock and roll. Now, are they operational? Again, that's something unclear that I couldn't find out. But even if they're not, that is still a big concern, because they're going to eventually make them operational. And then what does that mean? That means they have the possibility of 360 to 500 nuclear silos aimed at the world. Not just us, the world. Now, this is what one of the fields look like. And this field, guys, this field will be home to the DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile. This is one of their newer nuclear missiles that each missile houses 10 warheads apiece. So again, you have anywhere from 360 to 500 silos with 10 warheads each, assuming they put 10 warheads in each. With re-entry vehicles, by the way, I forgot to add that part in. Each of them having a re-entry vehicle. So that's 10 re-entry vehicles with nuclear warheads, add up to 500 silos, guys. You do the math. Again, this is not all to attack Taiwan. This is definitely for a bigger scale attack. Now, the DF-41 ICBMs, they have 100 new missiles, and they're still building them. So now they have 100 new missiles to almost fill a whole missile field. They're continuing to build them, guys. They are now trying to become, or will become, the superpower at the rate they're building everything. Xi Jinping, that asshole over there, he had said something, and I'm loosely stating, it's time for us to stop being oppressed and bullied. I'm like, who the fuck is bullying China, and who's oppressing them? I mean, I would really like to know who is oppressing China. That's one of the $1 million questions. If anybody can ask me, do not say the United States, because China had our balls in their hands for the last, I don't know how long. So it isn't us. So if somebody else is bullying them, please let us know who the fuck it is. Because at the rate that they're building their army, guys, their military weapons, they have so far surpassed everyone. So they're probably going to be the new bullies on the block, which they undoubtedly will be, because we see how they operate in their own country. It's only a matter of time, guys, when they have all of these ICBMs and silos operational, that they're going to start fucking making threats, like Russia is. Russia's making a threat every fucking day. What do you think China's going to do? China's going to back that threat up with them. Oh, you're talking shit to my boy Putin? We're going to fucking launch 8 of our missiles without batting an eyelash. So by 2030, in a couple of years, China will be said to have 3,000 to 4,000 nuclear warheads. All right, so again, guys, building their military at an alarming rate. This is not for Taiwan. This never was about Taiwan. I think Taiwan was the mask. I think that people assumed, and China had mentioned it here and there, throwing out little fucking trickery beads and shit, but like, oh, we're going to attack Taiwan. Meanwhile, it had nothing to do with Taiwan. All the maneuvers that they were doing in the South China Sea, they kept saying, oh, it's maneuvers for Taiwan. Had nothing to do with Taiwan. It had everything to do with attacking us. They also have intermediate range missiles, guys. I think it's called the DF-26. They also have road mobile ICBM launchers as well. Unknown how many numbers of those they have. So they have, guys, the capability to kick the entire world's ass as of right now, as it stands. Can we fight? Yes. I think on the battlefield, we'll fucking present a very good fucking fight. But if we were to go nuclear, I think they would win this one, because right now they outnumber us with ready missiles to launch. Now, we supposedly, according to General or Admiral Richards, we have more missiles than them. But because of the New START treaty, a lot of our missiles are, and I quote, operationally unavailable. Meaning, because of the New START treaty, that we had to put a bunch of our weapons off to the side because they were, according to the treaty, illegal to use. So these are some points to consider, guys. Something happened 18 years ago with a journalist from the UK. The journalist from the UK is maneuvering with the Chinese Navy at the time. They're in the South China Sea doing these maneuvers, and the journalists and the crew, the film crew, thought that they were actually maneuvering to take out Taiwan. Well, the journalist asked the Navy, the Chinese Navy, how do you guys feel about taking out Taiwan like this? And the sailors, the Chinese sailors, replied, these maneuvers are not for Taiwan. This is to invade the United States. That was 18 years ago. Let's go back further. 30 years ago, there was a Russian colonel who defected. And he had stated that the Chinese and Russian 30 years ago had started drawing up plans to attack the United States. With that, guys, they had the ability to attack us 30 years ago, supposedly. But they had rather have waited till they're doing what they're doing now. Made the brother pact, build their navy the way the Chinese are building their navy. The Chinese government and the Russian government become more self-reliant on one another instead of the United States. You see the moves that they're making now. It's only plausible that they are absolutely going to attack the United States and or attack another ally like the UK or maybe Israel, which I really don't see them attacking Israel, and you can't attack Israel with the Navy at least. But attacking the United States, guys, that's where a lot of people are failing to see. Now, a lot of us are saying, well, how the fuck are they going to make it across that big-ass ocean to us without being spotted? They don't give a fuck if they're being spotted. They have so many ships, guys, it would take them a while to get here. And if our Navy is smarter than them and has more experience, we could take out a lot of their ships, but not all of them. Now, the full frontal attack is less likely. It would be more plausible if they nuked us first, or EMP, whichever it is, and then attacked. Now, an EMP would leave everything intact like they wanted it, and then they would come in here and take what they want. Because if you EMP this country, guys, you leave us vulnerable to a lot of shit. Yes, the United States Navy might not be touched. Some of their vehicles are hardened, but not enough. But still, that would be the more tactical maneuver, if you will. But nuking us and nuking certain spots first and then attacking is also on the table. But the colonel didn't go over what the exact plan was, or maybe he did and it wasn't mentioned in the video. I don't know. Nonetheless, guys, the plausibility of China attacking us is on the table, and it is more likely. It's more likely than ever. Again, you don't build a Navy like this. You don't build missile silos. You don't train your men. You don't train kids, because they're training kids, guys, with efficient training. They have hand coordination training drills for kids. And then it moves up, and then they get older and they start doing what looks like Tai Chi, but it's some kind of martial arts. So they are training their kids at a young age. Meanwhile, our kids are wearing dresses and prefer their pronoun to be they and them. Look at how they teach their kids and what they teach their kids versus what we teach our kids here in the United States. They're absolutely looking to attack. Now, whether that's going to happen this year, which the rumor is it could be this November, but it could also be in another 2-3 years from now. It all depends on the technological issues that they're having. Now, I know this is one of my longer videos. I do apologize, but I had to get this video out because there's a lot to be said in this video, guys, that start paying attention to what China is doing. There's a lot of, I would say, a lot of articles out there on China information, or the United States spying on China and the things that they are building and what they're doing. And you don't even have to go that far. Just look at the shit they're doing in their country and how they have a grasp on their people. They're looking for that grasp around the world. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.